A woman's feelings when she realizes she lost you. Psychology tips. Sometimes letting go is the most powerful act of love you can give yourself. Unknown. Men, pay close attention. There's a silent shift that happens the moment you stop chasing her. It's not your words that change things, it's your absence. When you stop begging, stop explaining, and choose peace over proving your worth, something inside her begins to unravel. At first, she won't show it. She'll smile in photos, post as if life's perfect, maybe even seem happier than ever. But deep down, she feels the space, that haunting emptiness where your attention once lived. She senses the difference between being wanted and being remembered. And here's the truth most men never grasp. When you walk away with self respect, you become something she can't reach, a memory that challenges her ego and echoes in her quiet moments. What happens next inside her mind is chaos, denial, confusion, then realization. She'll replay every word, every glance, every moment you gave freely. She'll wonder when she lost your admiration and why you never looked back. If you've ever given your heart to a woman only to be taken for granted, this is your awakening. This isn't about punishment. It's not about revenge. It's about reclaiming your power, the strength that comes from silence, restraint, and self worth. Before we continue, write this down. I choose peace. Because once you understand what a woman truly feels when she realizes she's lost a man who valued himself, you'll never chase the same way again. Stage 1. Chaos. When a woman realizes she's lost you, the first stage she enters is chaos. But don't picture drama. No tears flooding the floor, no screams echoing down the hallway. This chaos is quieter. It hides behind a perfectly painted smile, and I'm fine posted on social media, and a calm tone that fools everyone except herself. Deep inside, her mind spins like a storm trapped in a glass jar. At first, denial is her drug. She whispers to herself, he'll text, he'll miss me, he'll come back. But the silence that follows your calm goodbye hits her harder than any argument ever could. Because this time, you didn't leave in anger. You didn't plead. You didn't chase. You just walked away, steady, composed, unshaken. That's when the ground beneath her confidence starts to crack. For so long, she believed she had the upper hand. She thought she could pull the strings, push your buttons, and you'd always respond. She thought you'd always be there waiting. But when he stopped chasing, the game ended. The power shifted. And the illusion she built, that she could have you whenever she wanted, shattered. That's when panic moves in. Quiet, invisible, but relentless. It's not rage. It's realization. She starts to replay every memory. Your patience when she was moody, your calm when she was chaos, your steady presence when her world spun out. The things she once dismissed now feel priceless. That's how chaos begins, not with noise, but with clarity. The cruel kind that whispers, you lost something rare. Outwardly, she'll act unbothered. She'll post selfies, laugh louder, flirt harder. She'll say, I'm better off, as if repeating it enough times will make it true. But every time she scrolls past your name or remembers your calm voice, the mask slips a little. Alone at night, the silence you left behind grows loud enough to drown her thoughts. She'll check her phone, not for your text, but for the void it proves exists. That's when the storm inside her reaches full force. Because she's not battling you anymore. She's battling herself. Here's the truth, and this is where the real psychology kicks in. What breaks her isn't losing your presence. It's losing the control she thought she had. Your peace is her chaos. Your silence is her loudest way-up call. She can't analyze it away or play her usual games because this time, you didn't react. You didn't fight to explain. You didn't try to fix it. You just stood tall and let go. That's the move she never saw coming. It's a masterclass in emotional control and one of the oldest psychology tips in the book. Sometimes silence is more powerful than words. Don't underestimate how deeply that hits her. If you had yelled, she could have painted you as the villain. If you had begged, she could have felt superior. But you didn't give her either of those escapes. You gave her peace. You showed strength wrapped in silence, and that shakes her to her core. Because now she sees a version of you she never understood before: calm, grounded, unbothered. A man who doesn't chase. A man who respects himself enough to walk away with dignity. That's not weakness. That's power. And every ounce of her inner chaos screams to have that power back. Remember this: when you hold your composure, you hold the frame. When you stay grounded, she loses balance. It's human nature, one of the most profound love advice lessons out there. The Stoics had it right. Peace isn't found by controlling someone else, it's found by controlling yourself. You didn't disappear to make her suffer. You didn't walk away to manipulate her emotions. You did it because you chose peace over pain. And that choice forces her to see what she never wanted to face: that you were the steady one all along. So, don't break your silence. Don't chase validation. Be the calm in her storm. That's how a man reclaims his power. That's how she realizes what she lost wasn't just a person, it was her emotional anchor. You must understand this stage because it's the foundation of every dating tip worth following. Strength attracts. Calm commands respect. And nothing unsettles a woman more than a man who no longer needs her approval to feel whole. That right there is chaos, beautiful, poetic, and unstoppable. And it all began the moment you stopped trying to prove your worth and simply walked away like a man who already knew it. Stage 2: Realization. Every storm meets its breaking point. But when the wind stops, don't expect peace. Expect truth. Because when the chaos inside her finally settles, it doesn't leave calm waters, it leaves clarity. Sharp, unforgiving, real. That's the moment she realizes she's lost you, not for a weekend, not for attention, but for good. And here's the thing about realization: it never knocks politely. It crashes in when she least expects it. Maybe it's a song on the radio. Maybe it's a random photo she forgot to delete. Maybe it's that empty chair across from her at the cafe you both loved. Whatever the trigger, it hits her like a wave she can't dodge. The denial she's been hiding behind? Gone. The excuses? Shattered. For the first time, she faces the one truth she never wanted to see: you're gone. And you're not coming back. Up until now, she's been living in a fantasy, a soft, self soothing story. He'll come back. I still matter to him. He can't live without me. But reality doesn't play by the rules of her wishful thinking. And when that illusion collapses, she feels the full impact. Your silence isn't manipulation. Your distance isn't punishment. Your absence isn't temporary. You walked away with strength, not spite. With dignity, not drama. And that's exactly when she begins to see you differently. Not as the man she argued with, but as the man who had the courage to let go when love stopped being respected. Realization drags memories with it like ghosts. She remembers your laugh, the steady tone in your voice when she was losing hers, the way you listened, not to reply, but to understand. She remembers how safe she felt beside you, how being with you made her softer, calmer, better. But those memories don't comfort her anymore, they torment her. They sting like salt in a wound, because now they're not reminders of what she has. They're proof of what she lost. This is where love psychology cuts deep. When a woman loses a man she truly connected with, a man who knew how to attract women through confidence, calmness, and self-respect, she doesn't just lose him. She loses herself. At first, she fights it. Of course she does. She fills her calendar with distractions, nights out, endless selfies, hollow laughter. She convinces herself she's moving on. But the truth doesn't care about her distractions. It waits for the quiet. It waits for the drive home after midnight when the car is silent. It waits for the stillness before she falls asleep. And in that silence, the whisper comes: you lost him. And he's not coming back. That whisper hurts more than any argument ever could. Because now she can't blame you. You're not there to blame. All that's left is her and the reflection in the mirror she's avoided for too long. Your absence becomes her mirror. And what she sees isn't pretty. She sees every moment she dismissed your effort. Every time she let her pride win over peace. She realizes too late that you weren't the problem. You were the lesson. And that realization cuts deeper than heartbreak. It cuts straight into her ego, the part of her that thought she could always get you back. But here's the twist most men never see. This isn't just about losing you. It's about losing who she was when she was with you. When you were in her world, she felt steady, adored, chosen. Now, without your presence, she feels lost, uncertain, insecure. That emptiness she feels? It's not just about missing you. It's about missing the woman she became when she was loved by you. That's the cruel beauty of this stage. She realizes you weren't just another man, you were the anchor. And when the anchor's gone, the ship drifts. So don't chase. Don't explain. Don't rescue. Be the man who walks away with purpose. Because your strength in silence, your calm in distance, is what makes her see what she truly lost. Remember this: real men don't beg for love, they embody it. And that quiet confidence? That's what will always attract women. Because when a man understands love psychology, he doesn't play games. He stands firm, lives by his relationship goals, and lets time and truth reveal what words never could. And when she finally realizes what she lost, it won't be your attention she craves. It will be your energy, the peace, the power, the man she can no longer reach. Stage 3. The test of discipline. When she finally reaches out, that casual, hey, the sudden comment, or the late night text, this is the test that separates the men who lead from the men who crumble. Most men fail here. They answer. They explain. They break their own silence in the name of ego. Don't. Discipline is power. This is the stage where your silence becomes your strength, where you stop chasing and start commanding. The modern Stoic understands that silence isn't emptiness, it's dominance. The best revenge is massive success, said Frank Sinatra. Let your success, not your words, speak for you. Don't explain. Don't react. Don't try to remind her of your worth, because she already knows. She feels the space you left. She senses the absence of your energy. She realizes the value she took for granted. That's the power of Stoicism. Both the modern Stoic and the old Stoic mastered it: self-control, self-respect, and self-mastery. You must remember this. Your silence screams louder than any message. It tells her you've moved on. It tells her your worth isn't up for negotiation. It tells her you were the prize all along. She'll go through chaos, sadness, anger, regret, fear as her emotions battle for control. She'll remember your loyalty. She'll recall your effort. And she'll curse herself for taking your presence for granted. But here's the truth: that's not your problem anymore. Her storm is her lesson. Your peace is your power. You are no longer available for emotional games. You are walking the path of the Stoic, unshaken, unmoved, unstoppable. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, said Confucius. This is your battlefield now, not with her, but with your impulses. The man who controls his reactions controls his destiny. Don't let temptation win. Every time you resist, you grow stronger. Every time you remain silent, you reinforce your value. Every time you choose peace over validation, you rise above weakness. This is the discipline of a modern Stoic man. In today's world of instant replies, emotional oversharing, and desperate validation, true power lies in stillness. Let the world talk. Let her wonder. Let her regret. You stay focused. Build. Evolve. Lead. That is masculine energy at its purest form, direction, not distraction. The old Stoic philosophers taught it. The modern Stoic lives it. Control yourself and you control everything. Don't allow her confusion to disturb your clarity. Don't allow her regret to interrupt your progress. Let her feel the loss, because only through that pain will she understand your worth. Your absence is your loudest statement. In this stage, her realization is already your victory. You don't need to prove anything. You've already won by walking away with dignity. When you know your worth, no one can make you feel worthless. That's your truth now. She might deny it publicly, but privately, she knows. She lost a man who didn't beg, didn't chase, and didn't fold. A man who mastered his emotions. A man who walked like a storm, but stayed calm like the sea. That is Stoicism in motion. The modern Stoic doesn't seek closure. He creates it through action. He doesn't need to be seen. His absence is felt. Remember, your silence is not weakness, it's strategy. So don't reach out. Don't check her social media. Don't reply out of boredom or pride. Stay the course. Let time and your self respect do the talking. The man who remains disciplined earns peace. The man who reacts loses control. The choice is always yours. You must decide which man you are, the one who folds when she flinches or the one who stands tall, unshaken, untouchable. Be the latter. That's what the modern Stoic does. That's what the old Stoic taught. That's what true men live by. In a world that celebrates instant gratification, your restraint is rebellion. And rebellion, in this case, is freedom. Remember this and live it. You are not chasing, you are becoming. You are not reacting, you are mastering. You are not waiting, you are winning. Stay silent. Stay strong. Stay stoic. Because the man who can walk away with peace in his heart already holds the power she'll never understand. If you found this message powerful, hit the like button, share it with someone who needs this reminder, and subscribe for more insights on psychology and relationships. Comment to remember, my silence speaks my value. Stage 4. Detachment and Mastery. Most men think detachment means not giving a damn. They confuse strength with coldness, peace with passivity. They think detached means heartless. That's the first mistake. True detachment isn't about not caring, it's about caring the right way. It's not emotional numbness, it's emotional control. It's not the absence of feeling, it's the mastery of it. Detachment means you choose what deserves your energy and what doesn't. You choose peace over chaos, purpose over pain, dignity over drama. That's emotional intelligence in action, one of the most powerful psychology tips you'll ever learn. When you master this, everything changes. How you live, how you love, how she sees you. Especially how she feels when she realizes she lost you. Every relationship runs on an invisible rhythm, a hidden frame that defines who leads and who follows, who reacts and who decides. Most men lose the frame without even knowing it. She criticizes, they defend. She pulls back, they chase. She threatens to leave, they beg. And in that moment, she feels powerful and he feels small. But when you practice detachment, that music stops. The dance ends. You stop reacting to her moods like a puppet on strings. You stop orbiting her emotional weather. You stop letting her approval be your oxygen. You stand calm. You stand centered. You stand free. And that silence, that stillness, shakes her more than any words ever could. Because here's the truth, detachment is rare. Most men crumble under emotional pressure. They can't sit still when they feel ignored. They can't stay strong when they're tested. But when you do, she feels something she hasn't felt in a long time, respect. She's used to control. She's used to seeing men bend and break. She's used to emotional leverage. But with you, the buttons don't work anymore. The guilt doesn't land. The games fall flat. That's when the shift happens, when she realizes she no longer controls the frame. And that realization doesn't just create respect, it creates fascination. It makes her wonder, what happened to him? Why can't I reach him anymore? Now, let's be clear, detachment doesn't mean you stop living, laughing, or loving. It's not about isolation. It's about power. Real detachment shows in the way you carry yourself daily. You don't react, you respond. When she tests you, you don't argue, you breathe, pause, and choose. You use silence as your weapon. You don't explain yourself endlessly, you state your truth and stand by it. You protect your peace like it's gold. You shift your focus back to your purpose, your goals, your growth. That's the kind of discipline that separates boys from men. That's the kind of mindset shift most men never make, but every great man must. It's one of those timeless love advice and dating tips that builds respect without saying a word. From her side, your detachment feels like an earthquake. She expected you to chase. She expected drama. She expected the same old emotional script. But this time, there's silence. No pleading, no proving, no panic. That's when she starts asking herself the questions she never expected to ask. Why isn't he reacting like other men? Why doesn't he need me anymore? Did I just lose something real? And the longer you stay calm, the louder those questions echo. That's the psychology of loss at work, and it's powerful because your absence speaks louder than any argument ever could. Your peace becomes her obsession. The Stoics had it right. The greatest power a man can hold is sovereignty over himself. You can't control her, the world, or fate, but you can control how you respond. That's what real detachment is: self sovereignty. It doesn't mean you don't feel, it means you own what you feel. It means your emotions serve you, not enslave you. And here's the beautiful twist: the moment you no longer crave her validation is the moment she begins craving yours. That's not manipulation. That's maturity. That's one of the most profound psychology tips life can teach. There are four unbreakable rules to master detachment. First, silence over desperation. Don't trade your peace for noise. Let silence do the talking. Second, purpose over distraction. A man driven by mission doesn't have time for emotional games. Third, boundaries over arguments. You don't need to explain your standards, you live by them. And fourth, no half measures. Never crawl back to comfort that disrespects your worth. That's not pride, that's power. These aren't rules for her. They're rules for you, for your mind, your masculinity, your mastery. And here's why most men fail: they fake detachment. They use it as a tactic, not a transformation. They play it cool for a week, maybe two, then they text, they check, they break. The moment they do, the frame collapses. Respect vanishes. That's why detachment must be a lifestyle, not a strategy. You do it not to make her miss you, but to make yourself unshakable. You do it not to win her back, but to win yourself back. Because when you truly detach, you stop living for her reaction and start living for your evolution. And that's when she finally feels what she never expected to: the loss of a man she'll never forget. Stage 5. The shock of absence. There's a moment when everything finally lands: the denial, the illusions, all gone. What's left is the shock. Not just the shock of losing you, but the shock of your absence. When you argued, begged, or chased, she still felt your energy. Even anger was a form of attention. But now, silence. Real, heavy, meaningful silence. And that silence screams louder than words ever could. Absence isn't neutral. Absence is a message. And that message is crystal clear: you don't have me anymore. Nothing you do can change that. At first, she pretends she's fine. She posts cheerful photos, talks about freedom, tells her friends she's over it. But reality creeps in during the small moments: the missing good morning text, the quiet nights without your voice, the mornings without your calm energy. Those gaps, those tiny voids add up. She tries to fill them with distractions: friends, social media, maybe even someone new. But no matter what she does, the emptiness remains. Because your absence isn't just physical, it's emotional, psychological, and spiritual. It's the void that no one else seems able to fill. And in that void, she begins to feel the full weight of what she lost. It hurts, not only because she misses you, but because she realizes she took you for granted. She never stopped to notice how stable you were, how your presence brought balance to her chaos. She never appreciated that your calm was her grounding. Now she feels the contrast, and that contrast cuts deep. Other men don't bring that same strength. They lack your confidence, your steady energy, your quiet power. She sees it now: real connection isn't about excitement, it's about peace. And that realization reshapes her understanding of relationship goals forever. You are the kind of man women seek when they truly mature, the kind that doesn't need to prove anything to attract women because his energy speaks for itself. Here's where love psychology comes into play. Humans are wired for connection. Women, especially, are wired for emotional safety. It's not weakness, it's biology. Your presence made her feel secure, even if she didn't realize it. When that security vanished, her body felt it. Restless nights, a racing mind, constant checking of her phone, all signs of emotional withdrawal. Your absence disrupted her internal balance, and it's not just emotional. It's chemical. That's what happens when someone loses the source of peace their nervous system relied on. Then, the social shock begins. She becomes more visible online, smiling harder, posting more, pretending she's living her best life. But each picture hides a message. Look, I'm okay. The truth? She's not. Her sudden urge to prove she's fine is the clearest sign she's struggling. Friends sense it. They notice how often your name slips into conversation. And if she starts dating again, she can't help but compare. Because every man she meets will remind her of what you were and what they're not. Here's the hard truth. Your absence feels permanent because you left with dignity. Men who walk away in anger often return. Men who leave begging often come back. But men who walk away calmly, silently, with self-respect, they don't look back. And that terrifies her because she knows the door isn't cracked open anymore. It's shut, locked, done. And the moment that reality hits, she doesn't just feel sadness, she feels dread. She realizes she lost not just a person, but a kind of man she may never find again. Now, in that silence, she starts to see everything clearly. The pride that blinded her, the selfishness that made her careless, the patterns that pushed you away. She sees the truth she once ignored. Your patience had limits, and your love wasn't infinite. Maybe she'll grow from it. Maybe she'll learn. Maybe she'll become better for the next man. But no growth will erase the fact that she lost you and that her loss was the direct consequence of her choices. For you, this stage isn't about revenge or satisfaction. It's about understanding the power of absence. You don't need to explain. You don't need to prove anything. Your silence does all the work. It communicates strength, discipline, and peace, qualities that truly attract women more than any grand gesture ever could. You show that your presence was a privilege, not a guarantee. You teach through stillness, not through speech. The Stoics said it best: you can't control others, only yourself. You can't dictate her feelings, her regret, or her longing. What you can control is how you carry yourself in your absence. Be calm, be centered, be at peace. That's real strength. Because while she wrestles with her emotions, you're mastering yours. And in that contrast, your silence becomes your greatest statement and her greatest lesson. So remember this: your absence is not punishment, it's power. It's the mirror that forces her to face herself. It's the proof that walking away with grace is the strongest move a man can make. Because in a world full of noise and chaos, nothing attracts attention like calm. Nothing earns respect like self-control. And nothing defines true relationship goals more than the ability to walk away with dignity and never look back. Stage 6. The return test and the Stoic conclusion. When she finally realizes she lost you, her mind becomes a battlefield. She replays every moment, every argument, every silence. She wonders how she let you slip away. But this is not your battle anymore. This is your test. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, said Seneca, one of the great old Stoics, and that's the truth you must hold. Most men fail this test because they act from emotion, not discipline. They see a message, hey, I miss you, and they fold. They run back to comfort instead of standing in strength. Don't do that. Don't let weakness disguise itself as love. Don't confuse nostalgia for connection. A modern Stoic man, grounded, calm, and unshakable, understands that silence is his sword. Your silence commands respect. Your restraint creates power. Your composure reminds her who you've become. When she reaches out, understand this: not every knock deserves an answer. Not every word deserves your breath. You must act like a man who has mastered himself, not a boy begging for attention. There are only 3 green lights, 3 signals that prove she's worthy of your time. The first is a real apology. Not a lazy, I miss you, not a soft, hey stranger. A real apology is heavy with truth. It carries humility, ownership, and clarity. It says, I know I hurt you. I see what I lost. That's not manipulation, that's awareness. But even then, you don't rush back. You observe. You assess. You reply, if you choose, from strength, not desire. The second green light is evidence of change. Talk is cheap. Anyone can promise, few can transform. When she says she's working on herself, you don't believe her words. You look for proof. A modern Stoic man judges by actions, not emotions. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. The one, said Marcus Aurelius. That is your standard. You reply only when her actions reveal she's already growing, not when she claims she will. You reward effort, not excuses. You recognize progress, not pity. The third green light is respect for your boundaries. If she honored your request for no contact, stayed silent, and returned with calm energy, that shows maturity. But if she broke your peace with endless texts, emotional pleas, or guilt trips, that's not love. That's control. A Stoic man knows that respect is the foundation of any real relationship. Without it, everything collapses. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, said Confucius, and conquering yourself means refusing to reply when you know silence serves you better. Most of her messages will be noise, little tests, breadcrumbs, emotional bait to see if you're still available. Don't fall for it. The modern Stoic doesn't chase validation. He stands tall, unbothered, unmoved. He's not cold, he's in control. Your silence is your greatest statement. It says, I no longer need to prove anything. That's the essence of old Stoicism, calm mastery over chaos. In a world of instant replies and digital weakness, your restraint makes you rare. Your discipline makes you dangerous. Even when you choose to respond, do it like a man who owns his frame. Short, direct, measured. You say, I hear you. You say, time will tell. You say, I respect your message. You never beg. You never explain. You never reopen a door that was closed for a reason. You speak as a man who knows his value, not one trying to convince her of it. That is what separates the modern Stoic from the emotional drifter, clarity over chaos, logic over longing. Most men lose here. They mistake contact for commitment. They confuse attention with affection. Don't. You must understand that if she hasn't apologized, hasn't changed, hasn't respected you, then nothing's changed. You'll just repeat the same cycle, the same pain. Break it. Choose silence. Choose peace. Choose self respect. Silence is not weakness, it's strength restrained. It's power contained. It's your declaration that you answer only to truth and respect. When you master this discipline, when you become unshakable in the face of emotion, you rise above the noise of the world. You become the calm in the storm. You become the line she cannot cross. You become the man she can no longer manipulate. That is the modern Stoic way, controlled, grounded, powerful. So remember, almost never reply. Only when the three align, apology, change, respect. Anything less, and silence remains your most powerful move. That silence will echo louder than any speech. It will teach her, and more importantly, it will free you. Be the man who doesn't chase. Be the man who leads. Be the master of your emotions. Be the embodiment of Stoicism, timeless, calm, and untouchable. And when you stand there in your peace, you'll understand the greatest truth of all. You didn't lose her, she lost you. And that's it, brother. You've just learned what truly happens when a woman realizes she's lost a man who finally chose peace over pain. Listen, don't ever forget what we talked about today. The moment you stop chasing, you start leading. The moment you choose silence, you gain strength. This isn't about revenge or proving a point. It's about growth, purpose, and self respect. So here's my honest advice to you: keep focusing on your mission, not her emotions. Build yourself, protect your energy, and let your actions speak louder than your feelings. The right woman will never need to see you fall apart to realize your worth. She'll recognize it when you stand tall. Stay disciplined, stay calm, and keep becoming the man that you respect first, because that's the man everyone else will respect too. Take care of yourself, my friend. I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong and stay stoic.